And welcome everybody to another interesting but fun episode of the Twinbill podcast. I am Alex, and of course, Luca is alongside me for this one. A lot of things to cover. Garrett Cole rebounded in his latest start against the Tampa Bay Rays. We experienced what it was like to be in enemy territory at Citi Field yesterday. Unfortunately, I will have the displeasure of drinking Ovaltine because I had made a bet that if the Yankees actually came back and won against the Twins in Cole's last horrible start, that I would have to drink the Ovaltine. And unfortunately, I have that displeasure. And listen, I don't check it out of a bet. All right. We're also going to give you guys injury updates, a lot of Yankee talk. Please ask us questions in the chat. That's how we keep going as a part of the show. Luca, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I think we should, we should definitely do some comparisons a little bit between Citi Field and the Yankee Stadium. Citi Field was fun last night. I think it's a nice stadium overall. Can't wait to get some Yankees talk, injury updates, Garrett Cole, maybe Matt Carpenter. Would you like to do another ballot, Alex, today for All-Star Game?
Yeah, well, why not, right? It doesn't hurt. Shouts to everybody in the chat. Shouts to Raw Thompson. Shouts to Zach Brownish as well. Should we get this shit over with?
Time to get the Ovaltine.
Okay, so tell me how this process is done. So I got the cup.
Let me see the spoon.
It's a small spoon. See this shit?
See a face up.
Pain in the ass.
Okay, so it's a little bit smaller than the spoon I use. Did you get
it?
From
take fucking big gulps of this shit?
All right. Did you? Let me ask you this: did you get it from the first spoon kind of thing?
First towards the drawer.
First towards the drawer. All right. You're gonna have to add a little more. So,
how many scoops do you add?
First of all, you pour the milk in.
So stupid. I don't have a fucking proper table to do this with, by the way.
It's like Nesquik.
Amazon milk.
It's like, Alex, it's like Nesquik, okay?
Yeah, just like the geriatric kind.
You're so overreacting to this. It's not even funny.
No, I'm not.
You have not even tried, Alex. You have not even tried it yet, so relax.
Okay, so and I have to drink the whole thing, right?
Exactly. No half glass, whole glass.
Right. Whole glass in there. Milk on the cap on the milk right here. Fulfilling the bet I made last week, unfortunately. All right, we got a glass.
All right, let me see inside. All right, good. Next, I want 3 spoonfuls of Ovaltine to put inside.
Yeah, apparently you're trying to give me diabetes.
It does not give you diabetes. It's actually very healthy for you.
That's the part about it I don't like. So 3 spoonfuls, you said.
Yes. Into the
and put this on the record for the chat. I could have regular chocolate milk because I have some in the I have some chocolate syrup. But no, I got to go with the geriatric kind. So say 1.
Yes.
And then I got to stir as loud as shit too. 2. Then we got 3.
You don't get this on any other podcast, folks.
No, you don't. Fortunately, but unfortunately for my kind. So
once you're done with the 3, you need to stir it. Don't stir it too much. Don't stir it too little. You want it to have flavor.
What is this? The fucking Goldilocks and the 3 Bears?
You do not want to have too much flavor. You do not want to have too little flavor.
All right. It's next to the mic, so you hear it, right?
Yeah. Well, I can't hear you. You got to see it. I think now is about good.
All right.
If you think it's too much of flavor, keep stirring. If you think it's too less of flavor, add more Ovaltine.
Fucking just drink it. Shit over with.
No, you need to have the proper taste. That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Listen, you know what? I like to bring this up before I bring up my shit about Ovaltine. For some reason, I cannot grow a mustache. For some reason, facial hair is like very non-existent with me. Like there's a mustache. Like you could probably see a mustache here if you look closely, but it's not Pete mustache. It's not Matt Carpenter mustache. Like it's not existent. But then again, I have more facial hair than Alex Rodriguez, so there's that, right?
Well, Alex, you also have facial hair on your chin that just looks like freaking wild hair. It's like
wild hair. Who says that?
Random. It's like I don't want to say it's ingrown. It's just like messy.
Some shit. I got some shit here. I got some shit here. I might go for a haircut.
Your hair below your chin needs to be a little more organized. That's what I have to say.
Okay, so let me get another taste.
What do you think?
Okay, it does taste like Nesquik, but I would prefer Nesquik because it's got more flavor.
Okay, then put more Ovaltine in it.
No, what the fuck? No.
No. You are here on this podcast, and I will tell you what to do for once in your life. If you think it needs flavor, you put a little more Ovaltine until you think it's good, and then you mix a little bit, obviously.
And I got type 2 diabetes, and then it's all your fault.
It's not going to make you diabetic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Let me ask you a question, Luca. Do old people take this with their pills?
Why would you take anything dairy with pills?
See, I still don't. I don't know. I still don't get. I don't taste it. Like I tasted chocolate, but like I put more in it, and that didn't do much of anything.
Put a little more in then.
What the fuck are you trying? I'm just drinking it as is because God forbid I fucking complain.
All right, so you think it's like all right? Well, give me a rating out of 5 of any chocolate milk that you had. It's obviously not brand chocolate milk like True Moo or any of that shit.
Big Boy says, drink a beer and you'll get one. Hey, I the night the Giants drafted Evan Nealon came on Thibodeau, I shotgunned a Miller Lite, okay? And no mustache came for me. I guess I can keep drinking then. Me down this shit because I have to.
Alex just wants to miss the goodness.
I just realized this is taking like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I don't know why it's taking 7 minutes. It usually doesn't take this long for me. I usually sip it really quickly. And that's why I can have like 2, 3, 4 glasses of this. You know, Ovaltine's so bad, right?
It's for the geriatric crowd.
Ovaltine is so bad, right?
Four out of 5.
Okay. See, it's not terrible like Donald says, okay?
I could go along with him. Yeah, because I want to. Anyway.
No. You must be truthful. You must be truthful or I'll hit you over the head with this. I swear I will.
Fucking what is that called? Help me out.
A lint roller.
Hit me in the head with a lint roller. Jesus Christ. I'm scared. I'm scared, everybody. All right. So you got anything else, Mr. Ovaltine?
So yeah, Ovaltine for me is a 5 out of 5. It's not like brand chocolate milk, but it's really good stuff. Let me just say, Alex, if you lie to Donald about how you tasted it, what the taste was, I will clip this and I will put it on the podcast to embarrass you.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So you must be truthful on tonight's Boys in the Big Apple.
I don't think I should be.
Okay, it's going to get clipped. It's going to get clipped.
All right, so before Brad shows up, and maybe he's already here in the comments, just not saying anything. But before Brad shows
shit out of you.
Yeah, what?
He's going to roast the shit out of you.
Yeah, I don't get why, because fucking, if anything, you were pushing for the Mets tickets.
Because I was cheap. Well, I said they were good tickets. You know, go see a game out in Queens. And then we got club access on Friday. I don't see
that
how
guy
that's
didn't
bad.
scam us, because if he did, I'm not going to be happy. You have nothing to say.
I don't think he scammed us, Alex. He gives out Mets tickets all the time.
Well, he better not scam us. So we went to Citi Field yesterday, and we didn't watch the Yankee game, but we did keep in tune with it. So we went to Citi Field for the first time. Took the 7 train, and from 42nd Street. So that was an experience, of course. There were not many Met fans on the train, but of course, when you get to Citi Field, a lot of them show up. Miller Lite is water. That's an interesting comment. I'm not really a beer person, though. Like, I've tried Heineken. I don't know if I tried Heineken. I tried Greek beer. I've never tried Budweiser, but I've heard it tastes like piss.
Corona?
I don't like Coronas either. I must admit that. Even though there is a part of Queens that's called Corona. Anyway.
Which is where the Mets Stadium is at.
Yeah, right. And then there's Flushing, which is like right next to it, which makes a whole lot of sense because you want to flush the Mets down the toilet once they lose a game. But they did win last night, and we're obviously going to sit here and compare a little bit of Citi Field and Yankee Stadium on a truthful note. And then we have something to say Mets fans after, because we got into a little debate.
I wouldn't say debate. I would say, I'm not going to say scrub, but trash talking session. Is that fair?
Trash talking session with Mets fans after the game. And trust me, we did and it's not like we're some scared cats or something like that, Like, for example, I went to an Elijah Moore Jets signing a few weeks back. And with that being said, I wore a Giants jersey right in front of him. He was breaking my balls about it, but that's all right. But why I'm saying this is because me and Luca went to the game with Yankee jerseys, and we knew we were going to get shit for it, but did we care?
No.
Exactly. So
why would we go to Citi Field in Mets gear?
Yeah, I'm like, someone suggested, wear a t-shirt so you don't get enough. I'm like, no, that's not fun. It's not fun at all. But yeah, so the Mets won yesterday, like 4-0, and can I say something though?
Go ahead.
And listen, the National League is not very good, other than the West. Like, the Mets are good; they're a good team, and I'll admit that. But with that being said, and I know this is a Yankees podcast,
Padres are also tied, I think, for the first place in the West, so they're also a very good team.
No, I know, but like, aside from the West and the Mets, like, the Central's not very good. And I know this is a Yankees podcast, but we're going to discuss a lot of facets. We go out of our way to do some different things here. But with that being said, like, the Brewers seem to be all carried by their pitching.
Yeah.
All their hitters, 249, 228, 197. And you know what? Maybe Pete can back me up on this. Maybe he can, like, explain this to me in the comments section. Big Boy says, Pete, send these guys some Bruegel. I don't know what that is, but I guess I would welcome that if Pete approves of it. But Willie Adames, now, once again, I don't understand the fucking WAR stat. I don't pay attention to WAR. I know that, like, there was a rule impending about, this would be concentrated on WAR, blah, 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 blah. Willie Adames last night in the game, and not in the game, but overall, I think at this point has a 1.4 WAR, and he's hitting 11 home runs with a 197 batting average. Christian Yelich is hitting, I think, similar count of home runs, but he's hitting 240, and he gets, what was his WAR, like a fucking 0.5?
Yeah, something like that. 0.9 maybe, I don't know.
0.5, I think it was 0.5. As Luca's camera, fucking flies, it grew wings. But I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, is that how the WAR stat is supposed to go? I don't get. That's why I don't get analytics. Like, people, this the F WAR and this shit and that shit. No, that's why I don't pay attention to analytics, because some of that shit doesn't make sense. So, Pete, if you know the WAR stat and you're watching F WAR, not F WAR, WAR. Like, why does it make sense for Willie Adames, who's hitting 197, to have a 1.4? Meanwhile, you have a guy like fucking Christian Yelich with a 0.5, and he's hitting slightly better. He was actually hitting around 250. So, NyynewsTV Pete, and then Ra Thompson says Dominican rum. Well, I've had rum. I've had fuck Captain Morgan, that is, but
Tasted like shit.
Well, when you're with friends, drinking's better, right?
Listen,
I was doing shots for a Giants game, so
listen. I like my twisted tea.
Yeah, twisted tea.
The spiked lemonade, not spiked lemonade, spiked iced tea, lemonade, whatever you want to call it. It's the best. It's the best. So
Pete says war is stupid in many cases. It's based off defense and offense. Gardner had a better war than Freddie Freeman. LA Yankee King chats to him in the chat, says war, to my understanding, is offense and defense.
It is.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense, but like, why does a guy fucking 197 still get a higher war? Was he that good defensively at shortstop? I don't think so. I can name a lot of defensive shortstops that are just better than Willie Adames. But the thing we were going to get is, do you want to talk about this whole Met fan thing, or do you want to compare the stadiums?
Let's compare stadiums.
Okay, so I don't like when you look on the outside of it, Citi Field looks big. Okay, the parking. I love the fact they have a parking lot. Now you could assess that to different situations and say, Citi Field, they're in a much more kind of open area, but at the same time, you walk out a little bit and you got city streets. While Yankee Stadium, it's city everywhere. You got to park, and then it's just city streets right there. So I guess maybe add one to Citi Field, but at the same time, you have to keep in with the knowledge that Yankee Stadium isn't that open. Then again, they have like 7 different parking garages, and I'm pretty sure parking is a pain.
Listen, at least the Mets fans can tailgate.
Yeah, you tailgate, and I'm not ripping on like Yankee Stadium, and I'm not saying that Citi Field doesn't have prices for parking, because they probably do. They're probably steep too. But where would you go next? Like the build inside the stadium, I would honestly go with Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, me too.
Because it just looks weird. People say, "Oh, Yankee Stadium," and I heard this one from a fucking Mets fan yesterday doing all his TikToks next to me in a Lindor jersey. Oh, well, because Lindor hit a line drive to right field and it was out. It was a flat line drive. It's not like, no, it's flat line drive. And he goes, "Oh, that would have been second deck at Yankee Stadium." Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, that's like one of the things we'll get into is like, I'm sorry, do the opponents not get to hit at Yankee Stadium? I should have said to him, listen, your buddies will get to hit at Yankee Stadium and they'll get to hit home runs. Lindor will have that shot in the short porch when he's hitting against the right-handed hitters. Guillorme will have that shot. Nick Plummer will have that shot. It's not like, they do. It's not like the Orioles ballpark, okay? So
yeah,
let's quiet the fuck down there. But the build is, I don't like the build. I really don't. It's just, you have the second deck, which I guess they were trying to make like an esque Fenway thing in right field. And then you got like 5 decks when it's not 5 decks. Like, the highest deck would be 4th deck in Yankee Stadium. Then you have the 4th deck, which would really be the 3rd. And if you look behind home plate, okay. You have home plate. Then you have this little mini deck, which is weird. Then you have the second, you have the 3rd deck. Then you have the 4th deck. Then you have the 5th deck. And I would never sit on the 5th deck. I have problems with height. I have height phobia, what the fuck they call it. Even though I go on the Cyclone or the Wonder Wheel, but sometimes I just.
Well, you said, Alex, when you mentioned 5th deck, that's where we're going to be sitting. But I know we're going to be utilizing the club seats.
Yeah, if the guy didn't scam us. But I would give the build to Yankee Stadium. And listen, I haven't visited like all of the total park of the like. I don't know, to be fair, what I should visit at Citi Field. I never got any engagement on that when I put that in my tweet. I said, look, if there's any place I should go in Citi Field, let me know. I'll go.
Alex, you missed it. You didn't even have to have a hot dog yesterday or bring me one. They had wings.
Well, that's also good. That's also
they had 8-piece wings
at the same time.
It was in left field.
No. I'm not. We didn't get to food yet.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't get to food yet. We'll get to food. I'm gonna lift my camera up just a little bit so that people could actually see my face. I know it's built a certain way. So I would go with the build. Because Citi Field on the inside is just built weird. And once again, I didn't get a lot of engagement when I asked where should I go at Citi Field. So if anyone has any suggestions, and I know we don't have Mets fans in here, but if you've been to Citi Field, where should we go the next time we're there, which is gonna be on Friday. Who do the Yankees versus on Friday though?
They play. Let me check the schedule. Oh, also, Alex, your buddy Giraffe Neck Mark said that Citi Field is so much better than Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Giraffe Neck Mark will suck a dick. If he came up to me, like for instance, comes
Friday
up to me
in Toronto.
The plane, what?
In Toronto.
Okay. Man, like for instance, Friday, if he comes up to me because I have a Yankee jersey on and I'm not, listen, look, he doesn't have to know who the fuck I am. He'll just say Yankee fan. Oh, Yankee fans here. What are you doing here? Like, stop dick riding the Yankees. We know we're better than you fucks. So we'll get into that in a minute. Food, how would you assess? I haven't asked you on your assessments.
Well, I'm going to say field, I'm going to go Yankee Stadium. I like Citi Field, but I like Yankee Stadium just a little bit more. In terms of food, I'm actually going to go Citi Field. I'll tell you why. I told you this in the car last night. They're not trying to be gentrified. They're not trying to be too multicultural. They're not trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not trying to fit in. Because, the Yankee Stadium has the chopped cheese. You can get that at a fucking deli. They have the sushi. You can get that at a Japanese restaurant. Like, they're trying to fit in too much. Mets, they're not. Yes, they have their basic hot dog, hamburger, fries.
Yeah, but to be fair, though, Luca, and listen, I get your point, and I totally agree with you. They have Shake Shack, and they have Mr. Softy.
Okay, but you didn't see what's out in center field. You did not see.
I saw Patsy. I fucking walked around the whole ballpark. What are you talking about?
Oh, really? You walked around the whole ballpark?
Not around the whole ballpark, but I walked around the first, the first level. How about that?
Okay. I'm sure they have, again, they have the filet mignon steak sandwich, which is pretty new. They have the amazing chicken. They have chicken wings, which is not served at Yankee Stadium. They have obviously Patsy's. Again, I'm not.
Chicken wings is more of a football thing, but I'll give them credit.
Again, it's until we look around at all the things, I'm so far still giving the Mets the edge when it comes to food selection. Like, sure, the Yankees might be a little more diverse, but that's just trying to fit in. That's my opinion.
Stupid question. And I've been to Yankee Stadium like 20 times, even though it's not true, but I've been there a lot. Do they sell hot dogs premium, or are they just based on the chicken tenders and stuff? Like, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this.
Yankee Stadium does sell hot dogs, Alex. I've had many there. I don't know why that was a question, because that is.
I'm
typical.
Sorry.
That's typical at a baseball stadium. If you don't have one at a baseball stadium,
I'm just wondering, because you said they're trying to be more fucking gentrified. Then what if they get rid of hot dogs? What if they said hot dogs were offensive to people who support PETA?
If they got rid of hot dogs, that would be an embarrassment. Okay, that would be an embarrassment.
That's the PETA people.
Oh, please. Then what about chicken? What about burgers? What about all that other stuff?
You don't know how people are. What if they just said beef? What if they just said beef? What if they just said hot dogs because they shred it up?
Fucking PETA idiots. But anyways, I'm just still going to go with the Mets. They're not trying to be, gentrified or, trying to be too much out there. You know what? We got we have a little bit of a wide selection. It's kind of local stuff. Pat LaFrida's, I think they're a burger and meat company. They got burgers, all that other stuff. I'm interested to try. So I'm going to go with terms of the Mets.
Okay. Well, Joe G is going to be very disappointed in you.
Well, he was talking about Patsy's.
Well, I know.
I'm just saying the selection. I didn't.
Well, he also said in a tweet to me that anything Yankees. No, I'm sorry. He said that chicken buckets or anything are better than anything at Citi Field.
I could honestly say that
mowing their lawns right now.
I could say honestly with the way that the Mets serve their chicken, it's not like Yankee Stadium. It's not like Yankee Stadium.
Well, yeah, I didn't get.
Also, I like in center field how they have like the little games and stuff. So I appreciate that.
What, the Mets?
Yeah, they have like little games in center field.
What is this, fucking PNC Field? LA Yankee King says he's only been to Yankee Stadium once. Okay. So there's that. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the podcast. I guess I was busy with this trash ass Ovaltine. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notification bell so you know when Pete is live for a live chat, a podcast is live, or a game season. And then also share it out. Give us a 5-star on Apple Podcasts. And buy your tickets for June 25th. June 25th is approaching.
I'm going to try to get more of my Jets Lounge crew. See if they could come.
Yeah, so that would be very interesting. You know, maybe we have an all out brawl, Giants and Jet fans at Yankee Stadium. Nah, I'm playing around. So what would you go on next in terms of like comparisons and shit like that? You could say like now. Let's be fair. Okay, these two stadiums were knocked out. Well, the stadiums before them were knocked down. These two were built up. Okay. I'm gonna put this down as like the final thing, but I have one more thing before that. Which do you think represents its history better? Now, obviously, you can't give a full lens description on this because we haven't seen a lot of Citi Field, just the first level. And Yankee Stadium, we've seen pretty much everything except for the fucking museum. What do you think?
I thought you went to the museum.
Thought I went to the museum?
Yeah.
No, the tickets were sold out to a fucking party bus, a tour bus.
F.
Which stadium? And I'm going to ask, this is for the chat too, if you've ever been. Which stadium do you think, and I know a lot of people have this problem with gentrification and shit like that. Which stadium do you think represents its history better?
So let's see. Let's talk about trends that each team had in the old and new stadiums. The Mets have the Big Apple in center field, like they did at Shea. The Yankees obviously have Monument Park. I mean, how can you not? I like in left field. Well, it wasn't really left field. It was like foul territory left field. Alex, you could look right, like to your right from your seat, and then you saw like these little murals of like Mike Piazza and other stuff like that. Obviously, they have the retired jerseys all along the stadium. It's kind of tough to say, honestly.
I'm going to give the edge to Yankee Stadium, in my opinion. Biased. I just like, what? You just call me biased? No way you just called me biased, you fuck.
Listen, you haven't even toured the full. I'm not saying you have to tour the full stadium, but we haven't actually got a
right. But nothing goes like the plaques in Yankee Stadium, right? The plaques.
What if the Mets have
numbers? Everything in my
but did I not just mention the Mets have retired numbers too? It's all around the stadium.
Hey! What about that plaque? Was it in left field or right field for George?
It's in right field. What, Alex, let me ask, what owner do the Mets have to pay tribute for? The fucking Wilpons?
Well, that's not my fucking fault that they have shit history.
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't answer that question immediately when it comes to
But history. I'm saying right now.
I don't know, Alex. We literally have not toured the entire stadium or went around it. You're trying to draw conclusions.
We haven't tried every single food yet, and you're like, okay, Mets.
I didn't say taste. I said selection. That's not trying to be gentrified.
Did you go to the second deck? Did you go to the third deck? Did you go to the fourth deck? Did you go to the fifth deck? Did you go to the clubs? No, you didn't. So if you want to play that fucking game, your opinion is so invalid.
So is yours.
Asking this question, which I'm gonna slap this shit out of you next time I see you, which will be in like an hour. But based on what you've seen from these fucking stadiums, which represents their history better? Is it Citi Field or is it Yankee Stadium?
I can't say.
Someone slap him, please, so I don't have to. Why can't you just give a fucking answer?
I haven't seen enough of the stadium to say, oh, okay, this stadium is better than this because of the history aspect. You know what? There's a reason I said food selection, not food taste. Food selection that's not trying to be gentrified. Alex trying to embarrass himself like a clown.
You're the one with the clown. He's drunk. Who, Luca? Yeah, he honestly might be. Then Jared says Yankee Stadium, obviously. That's where I
haven't seen it. I haven't been around the entire stadium.
Oh my God, why are you giving Mets fans credit more than the fucking...
I'm just trying to be fair.
Jared says war is useless in my opinion. LI Yankee King says, Luca, Alex, if you need a ref for a wrestling match, I'm down. Well, yeah, I've been, what was it? A few days ago, we were at a friend's house and my friend was taking votes for who would win in a boxing match. Would it be me or Luca? And a lot of votes went towards Luca, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, maybe I just have the physique or something. I don't know.
Physique. That's a fucking weird one. But here, no, okay. Number 5. I'm trying to represent this as the best as possible because I honestly forgot what I said before. So we already have the food selection, we have the representation of the history, we have the build, and I'm missing one. Bleacher Crease. Motherfuckers last night were trying to imitate that big boy.
The Mets take the L on that one.
No, fuck them. No, they were trying to do that shit. And I'm muttering
they did it at the end of the game.
This isn't Yankee Stadium. No one does that like Yankee
Alex, go into explanation. They literally did it in the 9th inning when the game was almost over. So I think it was Drew Smith, right? Drew Smith was on the mound. All we hear is Jeff McNeil. And they're trying to copy us bleacher creatures. Like, what? This is not Yankee Stadium. Stop trying to copy the trends. This is why Mets fans want to be like Yankee fans and Nets fans want to be like Knicks fans. I'm telling you, Mets and Nets fans have that in common. They can't stop talking.
You're missing a team. Hold on. Before we go on that rant, because we can accomplish that rant. Yankee CWE Bed-Stuy says Yankees 45-16. Let's go. Yeah, you're damn right, my man. I want to finish off the stadium thing before we go to the fan thing because I really want to get into that.
Yeah.
Live twin boxing match on NyynewsTV. We need commentary for that. We need commentary.
Give Pete the commentary.
Yes. Pete, maybe Nick Walters sideline. So what was it? Well, I don't know what they call it in boxing. The ring reporter, maybe inside the ring, some shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't
inside
know.
the ring.
So you have representing the history, you have the food selection, you have the build, and there's one more. I'm fucking missing.
What about overall food? Just overall the taste.
Nah. I don't think that should be a component.
Let me just be fair. When it comes to I almost lost my ring.
This is the most you're ever going to see about fucking stupid Mets talk on NyynewsTV because we've gone a legitimate 20 minutes about this.
True. I must say,
oh boy, you got some competition. CWE Bed-Stuy says Knicks can't put a competitive team together.
Listen, I wasn't talking about the Knicks as a basketball team. I'm not saying against all Nets fans. I'm saying there are certain Net fans and there are certain Met fans out there that just constantly keep the Knicks for the Net. I'm just saying there are some Nets fans out there who can't keep the Knicks out of their mouths. And there are some Mets fans like Giraffe Neck Mark who cannot keep the Yankees out of their mouths so they can get fucking clicks. And there are some Giants fans out there who cannot keep Dave Gettleman out of their mouths even though he's long gone. Just saying. I just have to put that out there. I didn't say all Nets fans. I said some. I didn't say all Mets fans. I said some.
CWE Bed-Stuy says get Dolan fired, Knicks fans. Well, he owns the team, so
first of all, yes, he owns the team. He's been a terrible owner, but what has he done in the last 2-3 years that has been horrible? Again, we're not going to go on in the next discussion here. This is the Yankee podcast. What I'm saying and what I was about to say is, they actually carried hot. You know how they carry beer in the vendors when they walk around?
What? Who?
The vendors.
Yes.
Yeah, they did that with the hot dogs last night. I'm actually not a fan of that because that's going to keep. That's like putting a pizza under a light. That's kind of that same scenario. But again, I didn't buy from those vendors. I bought from, the regular vendors, making the hot dogs fresh. The hot dog was good, obviously.
Yeah.
But the bun was just a little hard. And it's like they went Yankee Stadium's not sponsored by Nathan's, right?
No. I don't think they
make their own shit.
They have the Nathan's crinkle cut fries though.
Right. But they don't have like the legit hot dog. I don't think.
I don't think it's Nathan's. I think it's just a ballpark, probably Sabrett.
All right, then I like the Sabrett better. I'm just me. I like my Nathan's hot dog, but I like Sabrett at a major league ballpark. Yes. Also, Alex, something you disapprove of: Coke products.
No, get the fuck out of here. These fucking get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. Fucking. I should have had comments. I should have had common fucking sense. Now, some people will disagree with me in the chat. I should have had common fucking sense in right field when they had the rainbow lit Coca-Colas to say to myself that they would have had Coca-Cola products. Walk up to the stand, all Coca-Cola products. And I'm like, nope, fucking Pepsi and New York Yankees take this one. Fuck Coke. Like, I like Sprite. I like the lemonade, which is, I guess technically a part of the Coke family. Oh, come on, Pete. Stop. Pete, Coke all the way. Get the... No. Stop.
See, I'm not even in this debate.
No, you're not, because you're not cool. No. Pepsi, all... What is it with this? Maybe I have to get everybody's fucking vote on this team. Fucking Pete disappoints me right here. He likes Coke.
Gary.
Then you got fucking Gary Sheffield Jr. who likes Coke. Then you got fucking Matt Riley, who's a friend of mine, who's a Yankees and Giants fan. He likes fucking Coke better. What is it with you people? You think Coke is better? No, not Coke all day. Come on. Why do I have nobody on my side ever? Anyway. Someone does. I'll stress that in a second. I do. Pepsi is a trap. Come on, nah. We have to have. Thank you, Li. Thank you. Somebody fucking agrees with me. Pepsi is not a trap. There's so much better with Pepsi. Fucking every Coke tries to taste the same.
All right. So you said, are you talking about the soda or are you talking about the products?
Everything.
Are you talking about both?
Everything. Because look,
give me some Pepsi. Give me some Pepsi. Hold on. Let me just ask. Hold on, let me ask. Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Brisk is a part of Pepsi, right?
Pepsi, Brisk, Mountain Dew, Sierra Mist.
See, I already like Pepsi products, even though I don't like the Pepsi.
Then you got Coke, Dr. Pepper, which is probably my least favorite soda next to root beer. Sprite. I like Sprite. Okay, I'll give you credit there. So you got Coke, you got Sprite, you got Dr. Pepper, you got Fanta, you got fucking what am I missing? God damn it.
You said
lemonade. So fucking Pepsi. I don't know how you and either way, either it's product or just Pepsi Coke. Pepsi takes it all the way. I don't know what you fuckers think. Coke is better. No, the fuck it is not. Okay? No, it's just not. That lime shit, that lemon shit, that's in Mountain Dew and Sierra Mist, that takes a cake over any of these cola shits. So, no, stop with the cherry. Stop with the cherry. No. Pete, I demand you to put a poll in this chat and say which is better, Coke or Pepsi products. There we go. I literally have summoned that because sometimes the OBS to YouTube transmission can be delayed. So I guess I've already summoned that. Pepsi or Coke? We're gonna vote Pepsi, of course. Why? Of course, 75% already says, well, Coke, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I will be having that discussion with many people. And I guess many people are not gonna be happy on June 25th.
Sean's on your side.
Because that's what Yankee Stadium is.
Sean's on your side.
Yeah, well, good for Sean. He can come then. Let's see. Pepsi is better than Coke. Lemonade all the way. Yankees versus Mets. Coke versus Pepsi. PlayStation versus Apple. Xbox. Apple versus Samsung. Coke is better. I don't get you people. I really don't. I really fucking don't. So we got 12 votes so far. 67 to 33%. Longhorn Shepherd, you just got here. Dr. Pepper is better than Coke. Honestly, I would take Coke, even though it's a wannabe Pepsi. And score, of course, some people gotta be fucking mowing their lawns right now, which is great. It's just great on a fucking Wednesday afternoon, more like.
Turn it down.
Yeah, that's gonna help. Anyway, Jared says I'm kind of sick of soda, to be honest, but
Thank you, Jared.
Bed-Stuy says he picked Pepsi, but he doesn't really like both. Okay, so Pepsi's better. Pepsi's for the cool kids. Not like what's that movie? The Outsiders. There's the Socias. I find the concept of the Outsiders, to be honest, very stupid. At least because I read the book in school and I thought it was stupid. It's because it's 8th grade Pennsylvania bullshit. The Socias and what was it? The Greasers. Like what is this? Like what? No, I don't drink soda too much, but I still had to choose Coke. No, I'm sorry. All good, long, hard. Pepsi or Coke, just vote because Pepsi's for the cool kids. Trust me. 75-25. What a fucking shame. Pete versus Adam King. Oh God, someone brought Pete. Joe brought up last week. What was it? What's his face? Joe brought up Adam King on Sesame Street for some reason. That I would not want to watch that episode ever. Not that I would watch Sesame Street ever. An adult.
Would he be saying blatantly rigged on Sesame Street?
Yes, blatantly rigged. And then what was it? Today's letter is brought to you by the letter R for blatantly rigged. Myron Villar says no soda equals trash. I agree with that. If you don't drink soda, I think you're trash, Luca.
Listen, I have my liking for soda. I just don't drink it.
Mountain Dew or Sprite? I'm taking Mountain Dew. Like, I lived in Pennsylvania for years, and I know that a lot of people like to associate, Mountain Dew is a redneck drink. I see people in the city drinking Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, it may not be the healthiest fucking soda ever, but listen.
Doesn't blue Mountain Dew seem kind of disgusting? I've
had it before. It's all right. Okay, so Jared's more of a lemonade iced tea juice kind of guy. So you fit in with Luca's type. Now that we got on this topic of conversation somehow, funny enough, this seems like a conversation that we would have had in the off season because there's no baseball.
This is like a conversation we would be having in Boys of Big Apple. Next topic should be cereal before milk or milk before cereal. That should be our next topic now.
Yeah, no. We're not going there. King would be calling Elmo rigged. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that, honestly. I wouldn't want
because this imbecile up here, whether you're below me or above me, thinks that you should put the milk in before the cereal. You fucking imbecile.
Yeah, that's because my childhood was spent watching this idiot put in Cinnamon Toast Crunch, then the milk, and then him dampening the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So
you don't want to break you. Okay, A, you do not want to break your teeth. B, you don't want it to be too soggy. That's why
you don't want to break your teeth. Don't eat cereal. That's not that hard.
But who the hell eats their cereal? Oh my God! Like you got to get the obviously you got to get the cereal wet a little bit. So,
it's going to be in the milk. That's how it gets.
It's
wet.
Not too soggy. It's not too crunchy. I want crunch.
No, you want soggy.
No, I do not. I do not want soggy. I'm not like I used to be when it was all sog.
If the Yankees weren't winning so much, we wouldn't be having these conversations. You know what? That honestly might be true. May be true, may not be true. But it's funny though. We haven't talked anything about this Yankees team. We really haven't.
Because we forgot to finish our discussion on the Mets in Citi Field.
Okay, let's finalize that. Then we'll talk about the fans. Then we'll talk about the Yanks. So. History. You take nothing because you're a loser.
I take because I haven't seen enough.
Representation of history. Everybody says cereal before milk, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Anyway, so you got history representation, you got the food selection, you got the build. What the fuck was the other one we're missing?
Taste?
No, it's not the taste. I literally forgot it. Anyway, how about this? There was one thing I was just about to bring up. Fuck. Yes, we're going to get to the trade deadline eventually. We'll talk about that again. Motherfucker, there was something I wanted to get to. It was just overall. Okay, how about this? We'll settle on this. Everyone hated the off-season trades. We were wrong. Listen, look. I mean, I'm gonna say something in just a second, but overall, would you still put Yankee Stadium over Citi Field? If it was for
okay, so I gotta
in your head right now, based on what you've seen, and I know you've been to Yankee Stadium a million times, and you've been to Citi Field once. So if you were to do a poll in your head, just in your head, not with anybody else, but in your head of which stadium is better, would it be like 60-40? Would it be 70-30?
60-40.
Okay. All right.
So I got a reply on my one tweet. I said, walking out of the stadium, we did get taunted by Mets fans. Let me just say this. To those fans and any Met fan who talks shit about the Yankees, you are first place in the NL East and the second best team in baseball. Keep the Yankees out of your mouth. I get a comment from a Mets fan. I mean, that's expected when Yankee fans show up to Citi Field. Same thing happens in the Bronx. When Mets fans show up in non-Mets Yankee games, it goes both ways. And I've been to numerous Met games where Yankee fans like to start chanting or taunting themselves to get fans riled up.
Okay, so you know what? I don't know. I don't know what to say that, honestly. I can't say that I'm surprised, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at the standings before we go to this fan shit. So the Yankees are 9 games above the Blue Jays. Okay, we all know that. The Mets have a 5-game lead over the Braves, who were shit to start the season. And we all know what the Braves do. For some reason, they decide middle of the season to start revving up their fucking engines and be a good team. And I just realized that the Brewers are no longer in first place. I think it's the Cardinals now.
It's the Cardinals.
Fucking the central shit anyway. But I've seen Mets fans at Yankee games at home on TV. Yeah. Hot take, PNC Park is the best park in baseball. I've heard that a lot. I want to go there. I want to sit behind home plate because the tickets are actually really cheap. But I will not be going to PNC. Maybe I'll go another year. Maybe next year if they have that schedule that's supposed to be like, oh, you verse every team. Maybe then we make our trip to Pittsburgh because I would like to go to Pittsburgh. And I know Luca wants to go to Pittsburgh because the Jets play Pittsburgh.
Well, that's this season. Well, yeah, this season.
I'm just saying this season. Or maybe you could see.
I also want to go to Great American and possibly Progressive sometime soon.
Or what you could do is you could take a whole weekend, go to a Pirates game, and then go to the Jets game.
Pirates game and the Jets game?
Well, actually, no. Would that even make sense? Probably not, because you play in week 4, and the Pirates season is already done by then.
Yeah, which is they're trash. So
yeah, they're trash. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, but unfortunately. So about the fans. So last night, listen, there are those people who always bust your balls. Busting your balls is like, listen, you're like, Luca, what did that guy say when you walked in with the Yankees jersey? Like that one guy gave you a fist bump after that.
Yankees, oh brother.
So those people are cool. And when we left our seats last night, I know, but unfortunately, we won't be able to make the trip, Nick. Next year, once again, Rob Manfred opened up like possibilities of every team playing every team, kind of like they do in the NBA. But with that being said, we were leaving, and the guys by us, they were actually very nice. They said, "See you in July." And we shook hands and everything. Then we go outside the ballpark, and then a guy, which I couldn't even hear him because of his mask, walks by us and says, "Wrong team." And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I barely could fucking hear you. So then we go a little further towards the gates, right? We go further towards the gates. Then you got these tomboy college idiots.
Like one guy says, "Oh, go Yankees!" Not like a really "Go Yankees" kind of chant, like a "Go Yankees"
sarcastic,
like, rile up. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
so right. I did this, and then they start chanting their bullshit.
They said, "Fuck the Yankees," and then I'm like, "Yeah, keep."
No, you forgot to mention one very good thing. When we came out of the stadium, there was a huge Yankee suck chant.
Oh, yes. Yes, there was. We don't do this. We don't do this at Yankee Stadium, people.
No.
They are not. We are not in their head. Excuse me. They are not in our heads. We don't think about Mets fans 24 fucking 7, 365. We don't do that. We don't do that. There was a huge Yankee suck chant coming out of Citi Field, right? And we talk about, I'm not going to give the Red Sox credit, but the headline is always when the Red Sox are down, they're chanting Yankees suck because they can. But, coming out, and it's not even like they saw a Yankee fan. It's just they said, okay, you know what? Let's just chant Yankees suck because we think it's fun. And it's not like we're offended by this, but it's just so funny that we live in Mets fans' heads. Some, not all, some Mets fans' heads.
Like the older Mets fans that I know,
like the older Mets fans, they'll bust our balls, but they won't say, fuck the Yankees, all this shit. So there was a huge Yankee suck chant. Then we're, going towards the gates. Obviously, Luka said, the guy said, let's go Yankees, and Luka did this or whatever he did. And then the guy was like, fuck the Yankees. I'm like, keep that same energy, in
July when they collapsed.
In July. And then he just started muttering shit. And I'm
Garrett
like,
Cole's the worst pitcher in baseball.
And I'm like, watch when Garrett Cole strikes out your whole fucking lineup. He goes, oh, Garrett Cole is the worst pitcher in baseball.
I'm like, okay, best rotation in Major League Baseball. That's why I was like,
yeah, one of the best rotations. Okay. One of the best rotations. With that being said, what was I going to say? Garrett Cole pitched a fucking shutout, which we have to talk about, of course. Pitched a shutout, 7 innings, which wouldn't actually know it was 6 because he went up to 92 pitches. They took him out for Wandy. So they clearly didn't look at their MLB app.
They don't want to.
It would have been funny if we seen Giraffe Neck Mark there because I would have went up to his face, stop dick riding the Yankees. We know we're better than you.
And he just has shitty opinions overall. Like he actually made it, like he actually doesn't do just Mets content. He does baseball content. I think he was saying that the Yankees kind of got robbed or the Yankees gave up too much in the Joey Gallo trade.
Well, I mean, I remember that. Like, I don't agree with the trade, but I don't think they were decimated. Like, once again, I don't agree with the trade, but, we are where we are, I guess. I guess that's a point of emphasis. People are going to talk smack regardless. Well, listen, look, talking smack is a thing of sports. But let me say this, and I'm going to compliment Jet fans here, except for Luka, because we live with each other. We have to deal with each other, and especially during football season, right?
Yep.
So, with that being said, Islander fans always try to be up Ranger fans' ass. There's no doubt about that. There is. I've seen it.
Especially the ones we associated with.
Before I got into hockey, now this is not all Islander fans. Like some keep themselves. But some of these people come out here and the Rangers suck. Like, motherfucker, you haven't won a cup in 40 years. Stop. These Islander fans.
And the one guy was, remember, there was a conversation going on behind us about the Rangers fan clocking the Lightning fan. And the one guy was like, stay classy, Ranger fans.
Yeah, I wanted to no, I wouldn't punch them. I would say, yeah. Fucking haven't won a cup in 40 years.
And just fired their coach.
Just fired their coach, yes. So, how about this? I will compliment everyone except Luka here. But Islander fans always try to be up Ranger fans' ass. Let's see what else. Some Mets fans always try to be Nick fans' ass. And Met fans try to be up Yankee fans' ass because they're that annoying little brother. And we know the Knicks haven't been good. We know that.
No shit.
Yeah.
So don't try to come on here and say, the Knicks haven't been good. Oh no shit, they were fucking mediocre last year. They were in basketball purgatory when they didn't choose the direction. But that's for Boys in the Big Apple. If you want to listen in tonight, obviously we're gonna be talking Knicks and shit. Maybe next Wednesday too, because the NBA draft's next Thursday. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yeah. Jared said they can talk smack, but when you're doing that, when we have the best record in baseball, it makes you look completely stupid. And their whole there's 2 good teams in that. Like you could say, this, whatever. The entire AL East is competitive, except for the Orioles. Fuck the Orioles, okay? They're at the bottom. The Red Sox are trying to come up. I think they're still at 500, if I'm not mistaken. I'll take a look at the standings. The Red Sox, they're about 4 games above 500.
Raise the third.
We got the most competitive division in baseball. Meanwhile, every single year, it looks like the Braves, they just turn it around somewhere and they try to get to the Mets at the top. Wait till the Yanks play Houston. That's been the rivalry last year. And listen, we'll be in attendance. We'll be in attendance. But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem what I have with that. Every time me and you or, I go to a Yankees Houston game, they fucking lose. Opening day 2016. And then Old Timers Day 2019. Let's stop that streak on the 25th, people. Please come out to the 25th and support NyynewsTV. But overall, let's stop that streak because I don't want to go there and they fucking lose with Cortez or, Garrett Cole on the mound, which I don't know. Somebody's got to do the math in here, whether it's Cortez or Cole or someone else that's scheduled to start. It would be interesting if it's Garrett Cole, but, we'll see what happens. But like last thing before we talk actual Yankees, which has been weird. We've been talking mostly Mets here. Just keep your name for certain Mets fans, not all Mets fans. I fuck with Mets fans, but for certain Mets fans, keep your fucking name, keep our fucking name, keep our team out of your mouth, and show us that your team is different than the years past, where you'd collapse midseason and boom, the Braves take the division. The Nationals take the division. Obviously, that's not happening this year.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but June 20, they should reverse this. Cortez looks like he'll be starting on the 25th. Cole on the 24th. Now, Cole would be going up against Justin Verlander on the 24th. Cortez will be going up against Christian Javier on the 25th. Obviously, it's a little bit still days away, but I think they should still reverse that because Nasty Nestor night is on Friday. Our game's on Saturday, so maybe we should get Cole.
Aaron Boone should do that.
It's just in honor of that.
But then
give Cole an extra day of rest.
Yeah, give Cole an extra day of rest, and put Nasty Nestor for Nasty Nestor Day. Warren, shouts to you, man. I know he was in here a lot last episode. He says, this year's different, boys. 28 and 22. There's always an excuse why the Yankees are good. The fifth hardest schedule, by the way. Yeah, and I like to bring up that point. That's a very good point there, Warren. How many other teams with a schedule like we have would have done good?
Not many.
No, Mets.
And we were super hard on this team early in the season.
No, we were. And listen, I'll go back to a comment that was referenced earlier. About being wrong about the offseason and stuff like that. Fans can have initial thoughts as long as you're not trying to be right about something. Because I experienced this with the Giants Twitter base, where some people actually will try to be right and try to get clicks and retweets and likes over this shit, that they will want to be right over the team succeeding. But with NyynewsTV and a lot of other fans out there, they're getting crucified because they just didn't like the offseason, the moves that were made. I don't think that's right because fans have initial thoughts. You can be wrong on literally anything, okay? You can be wrong on literally anything. And, what if we go out one day and let's just say person A says Joey Gallo is going to hit a home run today. He's going to turn it around. And what if he doesn't turn it around and somebody says, oh, well, you're wrong on this? They'll be crucified and said, look, you wanted to be right. But that's just saying that's the hypocrisy of, oh, you crucify me for being right, but I can't crucify you. I crucify you for being wrong. I can't crucify you for being wrong, but you can crucify me for being wrong. So it's all that. And like all these, hoodie accounts and all these weirdos on Twitter that try to fucking, meanwhile, they don't show up on camera or show up at NyynewsTV Day. Probably won't. I would like to see who does show up, though. I would like to see who does show up because I will spit in their fucking face. If it gets to that point. Bedstein says if Chapman comes back, oh no, I don't want that.
He better not be the closer.
CWE Bedstein says Boone deserves credit. Yes, he does. He's made some questionable decisions, but you know what? Listen, we're in first place for a reason. Chapman versus Altuve. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I really don't want that to. I mean, last time we had the pleasure of seeing J.A. Happ start. I mean, his name's J. Happ. That was
what was it, the first at bat he gave up a home run to Altuve?
Yeah, that was like what would you say that was? The second worst game we went to? Or the third worst? Because you have the 19-5 game.
19-5. You obviously got that 19-5. The two Astros games. We also lost to the Blue Jays in 2017, where Dellin Betances just walked the fucking bases loaded. And I think that's pretty much that.
While I'm reading comments, I want you to count on hand our record when we go to Yankee games.
All right, so you want me to do it live, like think out loud? All right.
Whatever you want.
2012 against the Angels, 11-5 victory, first game. Second game, 2013 against the Jays, a 5-0 shutout. 2014, which is now going to be 3-0, was 7-1 win or 8-1 win against the Reds, against Alfredo Simon. 2015, we didn't go to a game. 2016, 3-1, lost to the Astros. 2017, lost to the Blue Jays, 3-2. 2018, win against the Blue Jays. 2018, win against the Braves. That is 5-2, right? Just make sure I'm right on the math. 2019 was the Indians game and the Royals game. So if you go to
and the Astros game too,
6-4. 2020, obviously no games. 2021, we went to the tie-own game against the Royals. So that's 7-4. We also had the Indians game, which was 8-4. We had the Nestor game against the Orioles, which is 9-4. And this year, 11-4, 2 victories.
All right, so we got a good record, 11-4. Warren says, to be fair, Cashman's offseason move consists of bringing in 37-year-old for $25 million and for 2 years, but going to arbitration. Yeah, listen, look, the arbitration hearing I think is set to go next week. They better just say, let's give you the money, because that's what Aaron Judge deserves. Aaron Judge deserves the money. And, all these people thinking Pete's MVP and shit like that. No, for fucking Aaron Judge. What was I going to say? LA Yankee Gang says, here's one thing I was wrong about. Joe Judge would be the top 5 coach for the 2021 season. I thought the Giants were going 10-7, but I was fucking wrong. The team has succeeded because of historic pitching and MVP season by Judge, none of Cashman's moves. Besides pitchers have done anything. Hicks, Gallo, Donaldson, career, low batting. Mets have spent the most and don't have more wins than the Yankees. That is a truth. IKF is solid, but not worth $25 million of an aging 37-year-old player. And then it makes it worse when you have someone like Carpenter making league minimum and outperforming him, along with Gallo and Hicks. I hope Stan gets hot soon. I'm 1-0 in Yankee Stadium. I'm 2-1 going to Yankee Stadium. So let's talk about our buddy Garrett Cole. We're finally talking Yanks. Not the John Boy version, but we're NYY News. We're finally talking Yankees, okay? An hour into this podcast, and we're finally getting to the thick of things, which is weird.
Listen, I got the sound bites from Friday's it wasn't Friday's game. It was Garrett Cole's last start where he blew up against the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed.
Are you fucking kidding me? No, again. Yeah, I should send Pete the sound audio or the bites and some shit and just have him play it live. That would be fun.
Yeah. No, again. And what was it? That's 3 in a row.
And then when I think it was Buxton, the 3-run home run. No. Are you shitting me?
Warren says I'm 13-2 this year at games. Wow, holy shit,
holy
man.
Fuck.
We've been to a lot of games. Jared Miller says I'm 0-0 at Yankee Stadium. I haven't been yet, but I'm 3-0 at Fenway Park. Fenway Park. Hopefully you can find your way to Yankee Stadium. Hopefully if you can come to June 25th, that would also be awesome as well. What was it say? Yankees 29-7 at home. Holy shit. Well, that's probably speaking on like the actual record of 29-7 at home. Even after what he's done, the Yankees can give him money before arbitration. They intend to go to arbitration. It's disrespectful. I totally
the guy's
agree.
Played his ass off this year. I'd say
he's played his ass off. I don't think
bet on himself. A lot of people were like, okay, he's struggling to start out the year. Maybe it wasn't the best thing for him to bet on himself, but now he's MVP level. He should undoubtedly be the MVP. There's no question. Don't give me the Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout bullshit. It's Aaron Judge.
I'm just gonna fix my my light for 1 second, so keep talking.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, Yeah, I do think it's disrespectful when it comes to, not giving Aaron Judge the money right now. I still think it's disrespectful, as you mentioned, whoever was in the chat, I'm sorry, I don't have the screen up in front of me. You're really going to arbitration, even though this guy's giving you MVP production. Like, you're seriously doing that? I just don't get that. Again,
No,
everybody's like forgiving Cashman all this bullshit for, the off season and how we're playing right now.
But we'll definitely see you guys at NY News TV Day. We'll be glad to meet you. We'll be glad to meet you, Warren. I wonder what the NYYST guy said, because one of their topics was, do we owe Cashman an apology?
I don't think we do. Listen, if you want to,
one of my longtime followers, I think his name is Dark Helmet on Twitter. He replied to the NYY News TV thing. He says, unless the Yankees bring a championship home this year, no. Which honestly,
he's got to do something at the fucking deadline.
No, that there's no doubt. You can't
keep Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo in this roster. You need to add some bullpen arms.
No, definitely. But more into Garrett Cole. He obviously had a terrible start against the Minnesota Twins. Gave up 5 home runs, probably the worst start of the season. And then last night, when we were at the Mets game, of course, he comes back and he pitches 6 shutout innings with 5 hits and 7 strikeouts, 92 pitches. So he had a really good outing. And this is an outing you could definitely say, and this is a third-place team, but it's a team over 500. And I know we've been circling the whole...
Cole struggled against the Rays in his career with the Yankees.
I know, but this is a start you could finally say, well, Garrett Cole has finally pitched well for the Yankees as an ace against an above 500 team, at least this year.
Yeah.
2020, you could go back, but there was really no fans in the stands. So it's kind of like I'm not going to say Julius Randle thing, but you kind of get my point there. And then what was I going to say? 2021, there wasn't really many that you could pick out of the weeds. The Astros one was there. So I don't know. How did he do did he go in Toronto against the Blue Jays?
How did who do? I'm sorry. I didn't pick up on that.
Did he pitch in Toronto? Because I don't remember.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna double check.
I don't think he may have. Because remember, we took 2 out of 3, and then we had another series in Toronto. At least I think. Judge definitely MVP, but offering the man $17 million, he asked for 21. Why can't you give him 21 seriously? And that's why I'm still hard on Cashman. His moves have been bad. Cashman going in witness protection if Judge signs anywhere else. Yeah, I agree with that. Cole leads MLB with most games with 6 innings pitched and 0 runs. Also giving up 2 runs less in the last 7 out of 10 starts. Put some respect on his name. Back-to-back starts of dominating.
You're forgetting a very key element. Remember when Cole gave up a home run to Vladdy Jr. and then he basically complimented him for his success?
Yeah, but I'm saying, did he pitch? So apparently, according to Warren, he did not pitch in Toronto. So there's our answer to that. So here's the thing, and this is obviously a big picture thing. Garrett Cole has had 1 or 2 starts this year against teams above 500 where he's actually dominated. And then he also, according to Warren, he did well against the Rays twice, right?
I think so, yes.
So that's 2. I think the Guardians are either below or above 500. And I'm not trying to demote Garrett Cole, but also that's a team that's mishmash. That's not a great team. Guardians are 30-27, but okay. So if you want to count big picture, 3 over 500 teams. ERA or WHIP, more accurate stat. I tend to depend on ERA more, but everybody
sometimes that's an outlier.
Everybody, picks each of their own, I guess. It was a double he gave up, and he still won that game. Yeah, but I just need. Listen, look, I love Garrett Cole. He's done well this year. I know a lot of fans and eventually, a lot of friends of mine that have different views on it. He dominated the White Sox. That's right. But also, to be fair, though, once again, when we're talking about, why are we saying over 500 teams? Because he is supposed to be the ace.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally expecting year after year after year to be, this great guy. But the White Sox, to be fair, are a terrible team. Like, they are trash. They're already chanting at their stadium, fire Tony, all this shit. But you have to look at something as big picture, and he's won, 3 games this year over 500 teams. The big picture thing is, and I know we talked about this a few weeks ago when the Angels game got rained out. Is it a failure, and do you trust? Is it a failure if Garrett Cole does not win a World Series for the Yankees and pitches well in the playoffs? There's that question, and there's the other question of, do you trust this guy in big games? Luca, where are you with Garrett Cole? And if you guys have different views or the same views, please put them in the chat. We'll read them out and we'll discuss.
He's pitched good in some really important games, some bad. The Boston wild card game is definitely a game you could say he pitched really terrible in. A good game you could say he pitched very well in was the Astros game last year when he complete game shutout. He told Aaron Boone to go back to the dugout. It's a mixed bag, honestly. Like, Garrett Cole in his first season as a Yankee, the 60-game season, the playoffs, obviously no fans, so not like a ton of pressure there. So it's kind of mixed for me, honestly. I don't want to say he's Jekyll and Hyde, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, and I'm not gonna say if you're just trashing Garrett Cole, then you're like, you don't know baseball. But if you're like a guy like, once again, I'll shout him out, Matt Riley, for example, who says this is not how an ace should be pitching with the money we're giving him. Like, you can bring up fair points. Like, we just mentioned 3 really good starts against above 500 teams, right? There's also been 3 blowups against the Twins, against the Red Sox on opening day. And there's also, you could consider also against the Blue Jays as well. So that's 3 already. And then you have in Detroit where he didn't even get through an inning. So once again, there's fair concern. And he's still got above 500. If Cole can get back to ace form and actually show us his next starts against the Astros, right? If he can outpitch Verlander, that's going to get high on my list because that's not just some, above 500 team. That's a first place team. Yeah. So if you can strike out guys like Altuve, get out Jeremy Pena, all these other guys on that team, if you could get those guys out and actually pitch really well, then you probably have earned my total respect. Kind of shifting, evening out the I would say the lever of what side you're on with Garrett Cole. I think that would be a big confidence booster with Yankee fans. And also if he blows up against the Astros, we can't be making excuses either. He just has to be the best. And whether that's in the day game where we go on the 25th, I don't want to be shouting at Garrett Cole that day. I really don't want to. Even though the first time I went to see him, he blew up on opening day. But, if he pitches the night game, which we'll also be there for, and he pitches well, listen, we'll have good things to say on the following Wednesday. So, any more thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big stretch for Cole coming up.
Warren says, of course, agree with you guys. He can be better, but when you look at the big picture, he's probably the best pitcher in the AL. The AL lineups are loaded. He's had his good and bad playoffs. 2 years ago, he's dominated. I feel like Cole is getting back to his ace form. Jared says 2020 season was depressing. I just hated all of the 2020 season. That was one of my least favorite baseball seasons ever to watch. Great, we had baseball during COVID, but just
Yeah.
Should spider tack be legal? Probably not. Jared says no, it shouldn't. He is an ace, and there is nothing wrong with expecting him to dominate every time. He has been bad, but hasn't been worth $35 million. Totally agree. It's the contract that skews his numbers. Yeah, listen, look, that is and once again, as long as you bring the facts to the table, that is a fair, very fair criticism of Garrett Cole. And I'm going to lift this up a little bit more, just to even it out with the picture. That's a fair criticism of Garrett Cole. If you bring the numbers to the table, but if you also bring the numbers the 7 out of 10, I know Warren was bringing up. If you bring those numbers to the table, that's a fair debate. You're not. And listen, once again, we may be talking a little down on Cole, big picture wise, but we're still rooting for him, right? And there's plenty more starts to be had. Right. One thing I love about him is that every start is new. He doesn't carry the good or bad into his next performance. A clean slate mindset. and knowing you have the stuff and just need to execute. I like that. That's actually a very good point there by Warren. You know, he does come in with like a new mentality. It's always a different thing with Garrett Cole. And I have a Garrett Cole shirt. So once again, I don't have it on today. But you know what? Shout out to Garrett Cole. He had a really good start against a team that's in third place. They're still, I believe they're somewhere in the wild card spot. Like, I believe them and the Blue Jays have the wild card spots. The Angels have fallen. The Guardians are not great. You know, they're like 30 and 27. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. And, you know, just to watch over the next few months, you know, whether the Blue Jays fall, the Rays fall, because the Red Sox are going to be up there. Everybody was counting out the Red Sox, and I'm not trying to campaign for them, but everybody was counting out these Red Sox. They're like, oh, well, you know, the Red Sox are falling apart and this, that, and the other thing. Just don't say that yet. Don't say that yet. We saw what Alex Cora did with an under-talented team last year. They got past the Yankees. They got past, you know, a couple other teams, and they made it to the ALCS. They overachieved. You could say that, but at the same time, he is a good manager. You have to respect that. And they may come to they may be at the wild card thing again. But what would also help is if the Yankees kept this division, and if they, you know, if they would be the first seed, so they would have, you know, they would be waiting. So they wouldn't even have to play a wild card game, which would be great because game one would be at Yankee Stadium. And if the tickets are not too expensive, which they will be, but if they're not too expensive, I'd be looking forward to go to some Yankee playoff baseball.
Right.
Any more thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered the Cole subject.
What's your next topic that you want to go on to in terms of the doc?
So we already got Garrett Cole. I don't think we have to talk about Hicks or Gallo.
Hicks had really one good game, one good series, and that was against Minnesota. So it was like, dude, it's like 7 years late for revenge, bud.
Do you think Gallo's on the uptick? Just a curious question.
I think he is, but I don't think it's something
consistent.
It's not consistent, and I don't think it's something to be sold on. Like, for example, he's actually hitting well compared to like what he's been hitting. He's hitting 261 in the last 7 games. Right. But you take a look big picture, last 15, he's hitting 216. So I don't know. Keep 9th spot. Keep hitting him in the 9th spot till you get somebody to replace him.
Yeah, trade him somewhere else, obviously. How about some injury updates?
Yeah, if you want to research those.
So we obviously did hear that Domingo Germán's going to pitch a simulated game. Then he'll go on a rehab start. He's pretty much, you know, deserted. I don't want to say deserted's not the right word. Kind of isolated from the team. Like he's been very quiet. So nothing on Zach Britton much yet. I think he threw a bullpen last week, I want to say. But
I don't want him. I do not want him to be. And listen, look, people will say, people have views on this and whatever. I do not want Zach Britton near this team. I will take Aroldis Chapman before I take Zach Britton.
That's bold.
I'm fucking dead serious. I will not take Zach Britton on this.
Chapman feels good, and he threw with no discomfort in the bullpen session he threw yesterday. Chapman's also involved in an embezzlement case.
Oh.
So Chapman is pushing for a trial in Broward County, Florida, to recover millions of dollars where he says were stolen from him by an employee at a Coral Springs financial agency that controlled his amounts for the better part of a decade. Fun. You also got Johnny Lowe. Let's see where he's at.
Britton is horrible. I agree. I still think we need outfield help to get more consistent production.
Just started a throwing program on Monday.
Loizaga?
Yeah, I'm really hoping he can get back to himself.
I feel like that's like the player I have the most confidence in. And I still think we should get an arm at the deadline, whether it's Andrew Chafin or some of these other guys. Michael Givens. I know a lot of people. The problem is, like, I know a lot of people have been pushing David Robertson, but I'm
How likely is a reunion, though?
Nah, like, it's like, not that David Robertson wasn't good with the Yankees, but like, just the old glory stuff. Like, Hakeem Nicks when he came back to the Giants. He wasn't the same.
Right.
Nowhere near the same. And I know he was like a washed veteran at the time, and Robertson's different, but I'm not a fan of the old glories coming back. The injured players don't really do anything for me. Yeah. Any pitching is welcomed. No one should be handed a role, though, based on
experience. Still want Montas?
Yes. For one, I do agree. Wampak. What'd you say?
You still want Montas?
Not really. I mean, like,
he would. What do you mean? Not really.
Yes and no. Like a 6 starter, yes. If anything else, like, focus your prospects towards Chafin, towards Barlow if Kansas City's giving him up, towards some Michael Fulmer if Detroit's selling. There's a couple of guys out there. There's a lot of guys on, next year they're free agents. Take a flyer and, build a championship team.
Let me just say for the record, somebody was tweeting on Twitter. I actually found this tweet kind of interesting. Person wanted to say, he mentioned one bullpen arm. I think he said Chafin and Benintendi. He's like, you know what? Those are not fuck the league moves. In which you're going to say,
I saw that tweet, and I think I know why. Those are moves that are good, but they're not great. Like I think what the guy was thinking of is getting a Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, that's what he
Juan
said.
Soto. Relief pitching wise, I don't know of a fuck the league moves.
So
like, he was thinking. I understand, and now I remember the tweet. He was thinking Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. Like, give up the fucking farm, get your guys. So I would understand that. I would definitely understand, like, getting a Soto, getting a Reynolds. I don't think that's realistic, though.
Yeah,
I don't think. Like, I'm not trying to blame anyone for wanting them, but I just don't think the Yankees are going to go there. I think they're going to look, okay, let's go get Benintendi, which would be like probably one of their better moves. And I think he's the second best outfielder on the market. Because I don't know that Reynolds is having the greatest season of his life.
Yeah, he's having down year.
But we'll see what they do at the deadline. I think it's going to be a lot of interesting ones. Nick S says, I think we need 1 or 2 outfielders, a shortstop and a catcher. Shortstop is, I don't know that they're going to replace.
I don't think shortstop really needs to improve, in my opinion. I think it's just kind of there. Like, focus on your real weaknesses first. Kiner for left has been fine. His glove has been kind of disappointing. He's been decent, not great improvement, but he's just kind of there. You know what? It's not like you have to improve on it.
If there was a Trey Turner, and I think Trey Turner can play shortstop, right?
Obviously.
I'm just saying, because I remember him mostly as a second baseman. If there was a Trey Turner, I would say fucking go get him. But there's not. And I understand, listen, you could worry about shortstop a little bit in the long term, this, that, and the other thing. I would not go after a shortstop. There is no one you blow the farm for. Pitcher, obviously, you're not going to blow the farm for anybody. But you will try to take a chance on Robertson, Michael Givens, Andrew Chafin, Scott Barlow. Those are guys to be out there. You would blow the farm for Brian Reynolds or Juan Soto, though. So there's that. As for catcher, I don't think...
No, we don't need one.
I don't think we need catcher. Now, here's where I think the misconception comes in. I think the misconception comes in because Jose Trevino is not... they're not putting him as an everyday catcher. I think that's why everybody wants a catcher. And I see what they're saying, but I don't think... for instance, why do we need another catcher? We got Trevino. Higashioka, in my opinion, is being played too much, and that's why a lot of people are saying, go get another catcher. Higashioka is fine as a backup, but the problem is they're playing him a little too much, where they should be playing Trevino 5 to 6 days a week. And I think they're worrying about the fact that Trevino did not get that sample size when he was in Texas and how he would adjust to that. LA Yankee King says he wants Jonah Heim a catcher. He's a good hitter. He's good on both sides, but I don't think that's happening.
Right.
And I personally like that's a place you can upgrade, but splitting Heim and Trevino is I don't know. I don't know if it's the right spot for Jonah Heim. Maybe if you would have put him in earlier, because he's having a good season, at least to my knowledge. If you would have traded for him instead of Trevino, that would have been a good move possibly, but he would still have a little bit more to grow. Trevino needs more playing time than we are a good catcher. I have a conspiracy that teams don't want to make deals with Cashman because of our record. I don't trust Cashman in rumored trades either. You could be somewhere with that.
Yeah.
I think even Higgy helps the pitching staff in the playoffs. Trevino will start 4 or 5 games. I agree with that. He should be the game 1 starter, honestly. Wild card, he should be the starter. Womp Bag says, also, we have Shane Green and other options like Waldichuk and JP Sears. JP Sears, I guess he was okay in his. I think he pitched really well in his major league appearance. Right? I think I remember that
1 start.
Shane Green was one of my favorite players when he came up. I would love him back. There's no one you blow the farm for. Yankees are solid. Just need a Ben and
We also got Banuelos.
Banuelos has pitched well. I know people were concerned because I think. Let me ask this, though. I know somebody tweeted about this. Why are people down on Clark Schmidt now? I think he had one I'm not saying he's Christ himself, but, I think he's better than what people are perceiving him as. I think
he's good. I think he just needs a little bit of rebound.
I think he needs refinement. Higgy hit 189 last year and 148 earlier this week. He does not deserve a spot. Gotta go. Let's be real, guys. Now, I'm not trying to rip you guys, and I understand you. Listen, Higgy is not a starting catcher. Who are you trading him for?
Yeah, what value are you going to get?
You're not going to get much value. People saw, and I know people bring up, you Gary Sanchez this, because Gary Sanchez had the offensive power occasionally. He had streaks. Higashioka is not that catcher. That's why a lot of people saw ceiling because Sanchez was under the spotlight. I didn't like Gary Sanchez. I did not like Gary Sanchez at all. But the spotlight was on him, and people think, okay, the offensive prowess, the ceiling of being, just an offensive DH. We talked about that in the offseason. Look, he went to Minnesota. He's their DH. He's also a little bit of their catcher now. Is completely unrealistic. I just don't think that's going to happen. Clark has been good this year. Pitchers need consistent time, or they'll get rusty. I agree with that. You think there should be a third base when we get, or DJ and Donaldson will be fine here. Well, I think they should listen. Donaldson's good defensively. His bat hasn't been great. But if you want more offensive in the lineup, put Andujar in. But once again, we all know where that situation is. Still better than Sanchez. He puts more effort in than Sanchez. So we'll give you that. And you know what? It's funny to me now that somebody brings up Sanchez, and I'm not trying to compare, but we were at the Brooklyn Cyclones game versus the Aberdeen Ironbirds, which are probably one of the best in the. It's not high A, but it is high A, right?
Aberdeen, yeah.
Okay, high A. Brooklyn Cyclones were home. There was the bases loaded, and because was he on one knee?
Yeah.
The catcher was on one knee. 4 balls. Now you could say some of those were wild pitches. 4 of those went past him. And there was 3-4 runs that scored. Not even lying to you. So this is why I hate the fucking one knee bullshit. But Jose Trevino doesn't do that. A lot of these other catchers don't do that. There's that. Trying to see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. For a short time, I would see if the Padres would trade Ha-Sung Kim. I don't know much about him. I'm gonna be real with you, Li. And then he also says, third base. LeMahieu was good at third. Glib was good at second as well. If the guy's not worth anything, it screams he got to go. Right, but also I know people look at, for example, they look at Texas and they look at Mitch Garver and they look at Jonah Heim, and you look at a couple of different places. I don't see the Red Sox fans screaming about Kevin Plawecki. Plawecki's not very good. Red Sox fans are not screaming about him because he's not getting most of the playing time. Higgy is. Higgy's getting 3. If you look at a 5-day span, he's getting 3 games out of that probably. He shouldn't be playing that much. Bounce is getting close. Got the suspension behind him now. Yeah, so he probably should be in the lineup tonight. I know he was off yesterday because of that. So stupid. But Tim Anderson talks all that talk, and then
at least he got his baby mama pregnant.
Yeah, there's that. Where do you want to go from here?
I think we could end off with Matt Carpenter, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't want to discuss Anthony Rizzo?
I don't think we have to.
So okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this at least before we go to Matt Carpenter, the Jesus Christ of this year. Are you concerned about his batting average and his struggles, or do you think the offense, like Judge and some of the other guys, hide that? And do you think that should be the route?
I
like,
think
where
Judge,
are you at with Anthony Rizzo?
I think he is struggling. I think the batting average is a little low for me, but I think he also puts in very good at bats as well. Like that, I could kind of live with. He's like the best 221 hitter that I've probably seen. But I think the Yankee offense, like Judge, Stanton, all those guys are also hiding it.
Yeah. Whatever happens when Chapman and Loaiza come back, do you think they send down Marinaccio or Benuelos? I would send down Marinaccio. Like he
send
pitched
down
well.
Macchio.
His last or DFA Lidge, I wouldn't mind if they did that. I no qualms there. Listen, Lidge hasn't been, if you want to upgrade. But you just have to make sure that Loaiza, when he comes in, is himself. Because if he's not, then that makes you look stupid. But I am so surprised by the way Matt Carpenter has started for the Yankees. Yeah. I never thought that this guy would be Jesus Christ all of a sudden. Maybe we rescind our opinions in 1 to 2 weeks. But in how many games he's played a total of, hold on, don't look, I'll look, 11 games this season, and he's had 6 home runs, and he's had 8 hits. This guy, he's been a source of power. He's using the short porch. He's hitting 286 with an OPS of 1.376. Now, obviously, the at-bats, you still have to wait a little bit more for that shit to balance out. And then if he continues consistently, he could be a league leader. But I am just so surprised. I thought it was going to be some just weird depth move, but he's played into it really well. And I think they found a little bit of a 1-year gem in this guy. I'm not saying he's the long-term option, which he shouldn't be, but for right now, I think he's a gem.
Yeah, definitely. I think I put this in the notes. What acquisition can you necessarily compare him to that he's been that impactful from the past?
More home runs than Gallo, Hicks, and Donaldson in 11 games. Holy shit. No.
Somebody brought up David Justice, but I would not go that far because Justice actually won the ALCS MVP.
Yeah, there is that. Like, you can't, for instance, I remember when, we were talking about the comparisons between the 98, this team. Like, you can't compare Anthony Rizzo to Tito Martinez. Never. No, absolutely not. Because Tito Martinez won, how many World Series? He also won the home run derby. He was also an all-star. He was just on
another level.
Yeah, he was just on another level where Anthony Rizzo really hasn't accomplished that feat in New York yet. So Matt Carpenter has been a nice gem. They should keep playing him. They should. Yeah. What position has he played mostly though? DH?
Yeah. Also, he's also been coming off the bench. So
yeah. Listen, he's been both. He's been good at both. Gallo has 8 home runs, but yeah. Well, Gallo's also heating up. But what I still will say about this, keep playing him at DH because that gives Stanton outfield reps. And I know obviously he had that bad outing in Minnesota in that 8-1 game. But keep playing him at DH, put Stanton in right, keep the infield alignment, switch out DJ with Torres and all this other stuff right there. It kind of sucks though we don't have a real backup shortstop. Now let me ask you this before we continue. Carpenter and Donaldson will be rotated a lot games in a row, including games on turf. Sean Mazza says Raul Ibanez.
That's fair.
Okay, that's an interesting one. My favorite Carpenter home run was the one off Ohtani, the leadoff hitter, 12 pitch. That was one of my favorites. I'm not going to lie to you right there. That's a good one. Shots to Anthony Medina. What's going on, my man? Damn. Now I was going to think of something. Do you think we should? I almost kicked the milk. Do you think we should DFA Marwin Gonzalez or just keep him? Now that we have Matt Carpenter, but here's the thing, and then maybe bring up Andujar. But here's you know what? I'll let you answer that.
Does Carpenter play short? That's my question.
I don't think he does. I think he plays second and first and third.
He's just.
I'll look it up. Right.
If he can play shortstop, good. If not, then you don't. Again, I don't trust Glaber as short still. But overall, Just Marwin is a defensive replacement, probably.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, like I think a lot of people were coming in expecting him to, because of the spring training he had. I thought they were expecting him for to be a little bit, to be a little bit. I thought they were overrating him a little bit.
That's what everybody does.
This guy's gonna be good. Because I'm thinking to myself, look, this guy's gonna be, coming in as a good bench piece. Hold on, I'm trying to look at, because usually Baseball Reference has it, possibly, maybe, I don't know. Standard fielding, no. Once again, they have it. Let's see. Okay, shortstop. He has not started a game in his career at shortstop, so that's your answer. So we'll be sticking with Marwin, it looks like. Have Chapman play third base once a week. I think he means Carpenter. It's my dream that Carpenter could play left field. Carpenter started 7 games, but that was about 10 years ago. He started 7 games for the Cardinals in left field. Also, let me see some other comments. Carpenter can play corner, outfield, right field. He's got 19 starts. In center, he's got none. And then DH wise, obviously we all know those starts. He's played mostly at first, so we all know that. Third, basically other than catcher, shortstop, and center field.
I just had to look at an image of Lindsay Adler taking a bathroom selfie with her arm like this, all fucking scrawny.
Don't put that image in my head. Left field is the hardest position to play in Yankee Stadium, maybe rivaled by center field. I can definitely see that. But with that being said, Luca, do you have anything to add?
Apparently, I was looking this up. A referee died from internal bleeding after players and fans attacked him for showing a red card at a soccer game.
Jesus fucking Christ.
In San Salvador.
A lot of those countries, man, they are really, really passionate about the soccer. So I'm not defending that by any imagination. That's horrible. But I'm just saying. Is there anyone that could take Gonzalez's spot in the minors? I don't think so. I'm thinking of players right now. I'm going to take
Jose Peraza.
No, not Jose Peraza. Or Jose Peroza. The knockoff brand. Remember? Yeah. Knockoff brand of Jose Peraza is in the minor leagues with the Mets. His name is Jose Peroza. I'm going to take a look at the roster right now. I don't think there's anyone. Looking at shortstops, Dietrich could be, but I don't think he's played shortstop. Oswald Peraza, yeah, there's no guys really down there that could probably take the shortstop spot. Just taking one more time. Yeah, no, there's no guys down there that are going to take that shortstop spot away. Oswald Cabrera's on the IL. Dietrich's probably never played short, and if he has, it was probably a long time ago. So, no. I think Britton could be a huge factor if he's healthy. Mr. Smith replies, Britton was sketchy last season. I very much agree with you. Jared says, too passionate. Soccer fans are fucking in zeal. Oh, Jesus Christ. I got something mixed up. Soccer fans are fucking insane. In Brazil, they got a ref beheaded. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I didn't even know that. Ranger fans can kick their ass. LOL. You're right. Gallo has more. Yeah, he's got more trade value. He's got more trade value because, he's heating up a little bit. And people see, and I think people in terms of like front office executives, they will see that like that offensive ceiling, not under the big lights, kind of like they did with Gary Sanchez, kind of like what teams saw in Sonny Gray, just on the pitching side of things.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts to add, Luca?
Nothing much. Overall, great show, especially going into Coke products, which really pissed off Alex. Citi Field, Mets.
Y'all disappoint me.
So that was pretty much that. Really fun show.
Yeah. You Coke people, not cocaine, but you Coke soda people disappoint me taking it over Pepsi. But I thought it was a really good show, a really good discussion. We talked Mets a lot. Jay, I would agree with you, but there's also golf and lacrosse. So there's that. But then again, Gary Sheffield will get mad at me because he golfs. I don't know how he is at golf, though.
Golf is for when you retire.
Golf is for, yes, when you retire. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Turn on the notification bell so you know when there's game season, live chat, or live podcast. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts for getting that back up.
iTunes too.
iTunes as well. Thank you, Joseph. Joseph says Pepsi. And what was I saying? I'm forgetting one. June 25th. Obviously, what was I going to say? Pete's fiance put in the tickets, so obviously there is room to do that. Mr. Smith says, great show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out. Tune in. Obviously, we'll be live. We are getting a day game, so we will be live at night at some point later. I think we verse the A's at 1:05 on a Wednesday, which is weird because we have a 3-game set. I think we have a 3-game set starting on a Monday with them. I think that's actually after the Astros series. Then we play them at 1:05 on a Wednesday. So,
okay. And also, if you guys want to check us out, Alex is obviously Big Blue in the Bronx. Also, Boys in the Big Apple podcast. Tonight we'll be talking a lot of NBA, especially the finals, MLB. I don't know if anything about NFL and training camp. Then we'll be live, probably live, good chance live tomorrow for finals game 6.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, guys. Shout out to everybody in chat. And we will see you later. Peace.
Later.
Before it hits the front